Zenworks Configuration Management 11 brings the bundle management capabilities to the Linux operating system. This means that you can use Zenworks to deploy simple and complex applications and also manage the full lifecycle of those applications on Linux devices. This includes both Linux servers as well as Linux desktops. Here I have a device running SUSE Linux Enterprise Desktop 11 Support Pack 1. I'm running the Zenworks agent on it, and you can see that there is a NAL or Novell application launcher that allows you to see all of the bundles that have been assigned to the device. Here you can double-click the application, and just like on Windows, you'll see that it begins installing that application if it's not already present. The difference, of course, is that instead of installing an MSI, it's busy installing a set of RPMs. Currently, it's most likely downloading the RPMs from the server from the content repository. Once those RPMs come down, it will then install those RPMs and then execute the client. In addition to the graphical interface, there's also a rich command line interface both on the server, where you can use the zman tool for management as well as ZCC, and you can use the zap command on the managed devices to install bundles, install packages, and do other common management tasks. So let's take a look at how I built this bundle as installing. If I go to Zenworks Control Center and go to the Linux folder that I've created, I've segmented mine into server and desktop applications. Under desktop, I then have some core applications. Here I've created my Novell GroupWise application, and I can go to the Actions tab, and you'll see that just like a Windows application, it's broken down into different action sets. We can define what happens at distribution. This is when the files are coming down from the content system. At installation time, which is typically going to be installing some RPMs. However, since this is Linux, a lot of configuration happens through text files as well. So you can see that after installing RPMs, you also have the capabilities to then edit text files, delete particular files, install files, do bundle chaining, so on and so forth. I then have the ability to have a launch set that says after the application is installed, what would you like to do next? For the vast majority of server implementations, you may not have anything on the Launch tab because you may only care about getting the software from point A to point B. However, you could take an example of a virus scan as something that you might use a launch for. The install, you may go ahead and push down to install the virus scan tool. On the Launch tab, you may then decide to have it run a scan on a regular basis and provide the command line there. Again, you have the same basic options here. You have the ability to install files, run executables, start and stop services, or execute scripts if there happens to be something that hasn't been provided here. The Packages tab offers you a view into the packages that are being deployed through this application. Here you can see that when I install this app, it's actually deploying the Novell GroupWise Client RPM and the Novell GroupWise DW Check RPM. It's also worth noting that applications and actions in both Windows and Linux now have the ability to have requirements themselves. This means that if you wanted to, you could build a single application that deployed both i586 packages and x86-64 packages. You simply need to tag the action such that on the action that installs the 32-bit, you come in and select the appropriate architecture type or Linux distribution type. In my case, since this is for zen11, I could come in and say these packages are for zen11 i586, and this would make sure that those packages were only transacted on that platform. In this case, those RPMs actually are good across multiple platforms, so I've set no requirements. You'll see here on my application that the application has successfully installed and gone ahead and launched the application. I could now log into GroupWise and begin using that application. If I cancel, you'll see that the next time that I run the application, it simply launches the application rather than attempting to install the RPMs again. Using Zenworks Configuration Management 11, you can now distribute all of your Linux software using the same basic best practices that you've used for years with Zenworks Configuration Management. In addition to this, things such as dependency resolution are handled by Zenworks Configuration Management, as well as the ability to leverage other repositories you may have. Finally, the product also includes the ability to mirror common packages from well-known sources such as the Novell Customer Center or RPMMD or Yum repositories. This means that you can quickly and easily populate your package repository and make it easier for doing dependency resolution and patching devices in the system.